Did you know that despite hefty investments and aggressive marketing campaigns, Ford and GM are experiencing sluggish sales of their electric vehicles? Is this a temporary blip or a sign of deeper problems, and what's turning consumers off? In this video, we will explore the specific features and drawbacks of Ford and GM's electric vehicles, analyze what consumers are looking for in an electric car, and discuss the potential reasons behind these shocking sales figures. So stick around until the end of the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel first. Let's first get into the roots of both Ford and GM. Ford and General Motors, GM, are two of the biggest names in the auto business. Their history includes American innovation, fierce competition, and a lasting global impact. Even though their stories are different, they have been linked for more than 100 years, changing how people travel and leaving an indelible mark on the world. Founded by Henry Ford in 1903, Ford Motor Company revolutionized car production with the assembly line. The iconic Model T, introduced in 1908, became an emblem of affordability and mass production, putting automobiles within reach of the average American. On the other hand, GM was founded in 1908 through a merger of several smaller automakers and quickly established itself as an industry leader. They offered a more comprehensive range of vehicles than Ford's focus on the Model T, catering to diverse consumer needs. Fast forward to today, GM and Ford are facing dire circumstances in the electric vehicle (EV) market. Both companies are struggling to sell EVs, resulting in significant losses and operational challenges. They're experiencing such severe difficulties that they're shutting down production lines and laying off thousands of workers, raising concerns about the future of these automotive giants. General Motors, for instance, has incurred losses exceeding $5 billion and has been forced to terminate over 1,000 employees in a week. This situation has sparked fears that we may witness one of the most significant automotive crises of the century. But why are GM and Ford failing to sell EVs? And are these EVs even viable? The challenges facing GM and Ford in the EV market are multifaceted. While the demand for EVs is steadily increasing, these companies have struggled to keep pace with consumer preferences and technological advancements. Moreover, internal issues, including mismanagement and strategic missteps, have exacerbated their predicament. GM and Ford have encountered numerous obstacles despite their efforts to pivot towards electrification. Their EV offerings have failed to resonate with consumers, from production delays to quality concerns, leading to dismal sales figures and mounting financial losses. Let's individually analyze both Ford and GM. Ford is losing huge amounts of money in its electric vehicle business. According to sources, the company loses an incredible $36,000 for every EV it sells. This has caused big operating losses. For example, Ford's EV business reported a $1.3 billion loss in just one quarter, more than double the losses from the previous year and more than double the loss from the previous quarter. Ford is having a hard time because it has invested a lot of money in developing electric vehicles, and the market is changing quickly. Despite pouring resources into developing advanced electric cars, Ford has struggled to generate sufficient sales to offset its investment. Ford also says that one of its problems is that people in North America don't want to pay more for luxury EVs than petrol or hybrid cars. The plot, meanwhile, does take a surprising turn. Many people in North America are afraid to buy electric vehicles because of deep-seated worries. EV owners might not want to buy them for several reasons, such as fears about their dependability, the charging infrastructure, or the general ownership experience compared to traditional petrol or hybrid cars. Ford is already having a hard time, and now its much-anticipated F-150 Lightning electric truck, seen as a game-changer, has had problems. Production has stopped, and Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, wants everyone to think of the company as a startup and not worry about the losses it has made trying to come up with new electric ideas. Things are even worse at General Motors, GM. Over 1,000 workers have been let go in just 1 week, making the company's problems even worse. CEO Mary Barra is in charge of GM and is criticized for her choices, as the company has many problems. GM is facing many problems, such as falling sales of electric vehicles and problems with Cruise, its self-driving car division. Mary Barra's recent comment that GM will not lower prices, which would make cheaper EVs under $30,000 lose money, has caused a lot of debate. Instead, the focus stays on high-end EVs, and the needs of the larger market are ignored. GM wanted to make 400,000 electric vehicles by the middle of 2024, but demand has been so low that they have had to lower their goal significantly. GM made about 32,000 EVs in the third quarter of 2023, 40% more than the previous quarter. The difference between supply and demand is shown by the fact that sales only went up by 28%. The production dates for electric trucks like the Chevy Silverado EV and the GMC Sierra EV have been pushed back from 2024 to late 2025 because the company is rethinking its EV plan. GM also has to make tough choices when dealing with its financial problems. To make shareholders happy, the company is thinking about ways to cut costs, slow production, and buy back its stock. The situation is made even more difficult by problems at Cruise, GM's division for self-driving cars, after a fatal accident involving one of these cars. The business has stopped running, the top leaders have quit, and layoffs are coming soon. The United Auto Workers strike cost GM $800 million, and other outside events have worsened GM's financial problems. Workers are the ones who have to deal with the worst effects of this chaos. About 1,300 workers are being let go as production for models like the Chevy Bolt and Camaro winds down. The Orion assembly plant, where these layoffs are occurring, is undergoing retooling for electric trucks, but will not be operational until 2028. Uncertainty about job security is upsetting for those affected, showing how hard GM's attempts to restructure are on people in a tough automotive market. Returning to Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, something that may surprise you, nearly 50% of EV buyers are now trading in their EVs for hybrids. Yes, you heard that right. People are reverting to gas and hybrid cars. In 2023, hybrids like the Toyota Prius dominated car sales in the US, comprising 88.3% compared to just 6.9% for EVs. The appeal of hybrids lies in their affordability and the absence of charging woes, with the average hybrid priced at around $42,181, significantly lower than the $59,400 price tag of an EV. Ford stores sold 86.4% of their Mach-E stock in 30 days or less in the second quarter of 2022, but by 2023, this number had dropped to just 27.7%, even though they had twice as many goods. The Mach-E's sales dropped by an amazing 90% from one year to the next, from 10,941 cars to just 633. Eric Merkel, who is in charge of sales research for Ford in the US, is still optimistic about the growth of EV sales overall, but he does admit that many Mach-E's are sitting on dealer lots and not being sold. The F-150 Lightning, Ford's electric truck, is facing a similar plight. Last year, Ford sold 70% of its Lightning inventory within 30 days, but this year, only 35%. Despite Ford's ambitious target to produce 600,000 EVs this year, they anticipate losing at least $3 billion. Furthermore, Ford is asking its dealers to invest $1 million to become EV certified to sell these seemingly unprofitable vehicles. Some Ford dealers, particularly on the East Coast, criticize Ford's production strategy, claiming it doesn't align with customer demand. Customers seek affordable EVs with a range of over 300 miles without unnecessary technological gimmicks, yet automakers overlook these preferences. Due to large inventories of Lightning trucks and Mach-E cars that they are having difficulty selling, Ford and GM dealers face a big problem. So many EVs are on the market that dealers are turning down Ford's orders. However, Ford's problem isn't just a short-term setback, it's a sign of a bigger problem in the EV market. Even Tesla, known for its electric cars, is having the same problems and is cutting prices and offering deals to get rid of its stock. The real worry is that the number of electric vehicles sold is decreasing in places that used to have a lot of EVs. Ford says that about 200,000 Lightning bookings have been made, but a shocking 70% of these orders have still not been filled. Ford's November sales numbers are not good. Compared to the same month last year, sales were down 5%. Even though EV sales hit all-time highs, they are still small compared to gas-powered car sales, which are also declining, especially for Ford's popular pickup trucks and SUVs. In this tough environment, Ford is cutting back on its investments in electric vehicles, cutting $2 billion in expected spending. As part of this, its battery plant in Michigan will be shrunk, and production at another plant in Kentucky will be put off. Even though EVs are having trouble, Ford's main source of income is still its internal combustion engine cars. This indicates that they are not ready to fully switch to electric vehicles. The recent UAW strike at Ford's plants, which caused workers to be temporarily laid off and unsure about their jobs, shows how these problems affect people. Ford's earnings dropped by $1.7 billion because of the strike, and the new labor deal added more costs per vehicle. Should they continue EV production using different strategies? Share your answers in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. See ya!